Hello, this is Doug Brook at NorthStar DHI Services. Today we're going to be taking a look at those cows that have had twin births in the last 365 days and see how they compare to the rest of the herd when we're looking at health conditions, especially transition health conditions, and lactation information. First of all, I have to go to the trackers and maternity tracker. We're going to run this maternity tracker wide open just as it sits there today, so we can find out there were 7% of the calvings in the last 365 days that produced twins. So I'm going to assign and select all the animals to a temp group. I'm going to call it temp group 55, and then I'll say OK. So there were 13 animals in this herd that had twins in the last 365 days. Now I'm going to get out of my maternity tracker and close that. We'll now get into activity tracker, and I'm going to take a look at fresh cows, sold cows, die cows, all calls, and also health conditions, retained placentas, metritis, just about 5 of those that are really pertinent to the transition time in these cows' lactation. We do have retained placenta, metritis, milk fever, ketosis, and DAs. I'm going to go ahead and preview this report. We see the number of incidences for this herd for all cows for the last 365 days. So if I go ahead and change this report to days in milk and take a look at that report now, because what we're going to be doing is looking at percentages. So now we see that DAs are about 7% of the herd, retained placenta is about 4% of the herd. To be able to take a look at those cows that have had twins, I need to go to my settings and I need to put in my temp groups, because I've already assigned those cows to this particular temp group. That's going to be temp group 55 and temp group 55. So now if I go ahead and preview that, look at my percentages, I will notice that there is a higher percentage of retained placentas, metritis, ketosis, and DAs for those cows that have had twins. One other thing I will do, taking a look at lactation information for those cows, what I'm going to do is create a new report. This new report we're going to call lactation data. Some of the database items I'm going to put on this report would be number 50 and 75, number 8 for lactation number, 273, which would be sex and disposition of the calf. I'm going to show that these cows have temp groups, put a little vertical line in there just to differentiate my lactation information. So there is projected 305-day milk, projected 305-day fat, projected 305-day protein. I also want to look at previous lactation information. There is my previous milk, my previous fat, and my previous protein. To make that comparison work, I need to go then into the subgrouping tab. That is here. I'm going to use my temp group 29 and lower 55 and upper 55. And I want to look just at averages only. So once I preview this report, here's my temp group that has projected 305-day milk and previous lactation 305-day milk. I'm looking at the rest of the herd. In this particular lactation, those animals don't seem to have any real problem with milk production. There does happen to be a fairly significant drop from previous to current lactation for milk production for those cows. Once I save this report, I can save it as number 37, so I can always go back and get that. Here in PCDART, we can take a look at what's been going on with those cows that have had twin births. One thing I always need to do once I've used temp groups, I want to go into the input desk and zero out temp groups just for cows, so that I don't run into having those cows in another temp group that I might have used or will have used later on. This is Doug Brook at NorthStar DHI Services. You may contact me at the telephone numbers listed on the screen or send me an email. Thank you.